Hey guys, welcome back to Lounging with John. Glad to be here once again. I want to thank all you guys for all of you that are subscribed to the channel, and those of you that might not be subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join us here. That way you can get all the notifications for each podcast or video that we put up here on the channel. Now, on this one, we're going to be doing something just a little bit different, and we're going to be talking about something a little different this time. I was browsing Facebook and came across a post, and the title of it was "Why Your Kids Should Not Go to a Blind School." And I thought, I wonder what this is about, because I've always said that blind schools have really sort of deteriorated, so to speak, with the way they do things and all that stuff. There's just so many things just changed, especially now, than from the way it was, when I used to go to school, which, it still wasn't the best back then either. And I can't really say that anybody's ever had the best experience at a blind school. But I found this article to be very interesting for the reasons why this gentleman was saying that, kids should go to a public school instead of a blind school. Now, I think it's awful for what happened to him, but I can't say that I agree that that's the reason why kids should not go to a blind school. Because what happened here in this situation is something that I can definitely say I'm sure that doesn't happen at every blind school, and I'm sure it's something that doesn't happen on a norm, or normal, should I say. So I'm going to try to read this to you now, with me having to use my screen reader and read to you at the same time. Bear with me. I'm definitely not no reading major or English major, so. Alright. History with Schools for the Blind, and why you should send your kid to public school. Written by Garrett Brown and Bruce Brown. November 8th, 2017. Edited on November 8th, 2017. If you've been thinking of sending your kid to a blind school, you might want to reconsider your decision. Blind schools have a dark history behind them. I'm going to go into my backstory about my experience at a blind school, as well as the experience of other blind kids who went to these schools. My experience in 2007, I started going to a school called Governor Moorhead for the blind. For a random week during the year initially, I loved my time there. So I decided in 2010 that I wanted to go there full time. I remember for the first part of the year, things were going well. As the year progressed, however, I started having a few problems. Excuse me. The kids were always misbehaved in one way or another. One of them hit me with their cane, so I whacked them back with mine. That kid got away with doing it, but I was in trouble. My parents were called, and me and my father spoke about it. When I got home, I told him that the other kid had hit me first. He knew that I'd always told the truth, even if I knew I'd get in trouble for it. That next week, he came with me to hopefully settle the situation with a professional tone but it ended up being far from that. The teacher we were speaking with told me that I shouldn't be tattling on the kids and that I needed to stop it. I don't remember what my dad said after that, but I know he wasn't happy with the teacher nor the school. A lot of the events that happened after that are a bit of a blur, but it was most of the same things, at least for a period of time. I was 10 years old at the time, so naturally I was disobedient. Naturally, I brought chaos on any adult that I didn't like or who made me angry in some way or another. Eventually, I became too much for the staff at GMS. Instead of using the normal protocol that were necessary for belligerent children like myself, they decided to resort to more drastic and illegal measures. I remember lashing out in MS. Miss Sproul's class. She locked me in a medium-sized room, blocked the door with her body. I kept trying to push her, but I was malnourished. I refused to eat because the medicine I was on. It had took my appetite away. I was 50 pounds. I think I was supposed to be about 80 for my age. So when she saw that I gave up trying to push past her, she left the room and locked the door. I found keys on one of the tables and let myself out. I tried to run away, but she pushed me back into the room and started cussing me out, which is clearly something that a teacher working for a government school should not be doing. She then proceeded to taunt me. I tried to tell another teacher that she had cussed me out, but they refused to listen. My parents were the only people who did listen, and I don't think I told them about the teacher yet. I presume she told other teachers her methods, because whenever I acted up from that point onward, the staff would take me downstairs and lock me in a cottage, normally used during a tornado. They had me down there for as short as 15 minutes or as long as an hour or two. Eventually, after being down there for so long, because I often went every other day, I began looking for other ways out. The staff member guarding me there would be inside the lobby blocking the door. So I found a part of the wall that was crumbling, and I tried to tunnel my way out. If memory serves me correctly, the person who was guarding the doors was MS Ryan, and she was smart. She pushed me away from the wall. I kept trying to get through her, but she also had muscle. She could have been a prison guard. I realized the flaw of her being the only teacher in that room. And seeing how she was guarding the wall, I ran towards the door. As one could guess, with me only being 50 pounds, my running was not that fast, so she ended up stopping me. Every time I tried to pick apart the wall, she would add more time for me to be trapped down there. After a while, for being locked in the basement, I went crazy and tried to kick my way through the walls and destroyed other things. I was skinny and frail, so couldn't really kick my way out of anything. The walls are made of brick, so unless you're Iron Man, there's no way you're getting through it. I gently slammed my head against the wall because of my fits of fright, or however you wish to refer to it, and I remember having to be bandaged up. For that, I was also taunted for doing it. One day I had enough. I tried to run away and escape that place. And I was caught while trying to use the elevator. The teacher tried to drag me to the principal's office, but I fought them back. While I was trying to get away from them, I threatened to commit suicide. I was really close to running away and finding the nearest cliff to jump off of. But I was taken to a mental hospital. I've never been somewhere so awful in my life. I was given shots and had to be in the same building as other kids at my level. Needless to say, I never want to be in a mental hospital again. When my parents called me on Friday to tell me that I couldn't be picked up that day, I was upset at the thought of having to spend 3 more days in that place. I did go back to Raleigh. I did go back to Raleigh, however, and I wish that wasn't the case. Eventually, the house parent had enough of me. Instead of the house parent calling Ryan to take me to the basement, she had all the kids gang up on me with their canes. Everyone in that cottage attacked me, except for one person. The kids gave me over 10 bruises on my legs and also did damage to my arms. I can still remember that one kid punched me in the arm when I tried to run to the hall. After the kids were done beating me, the house parent dragged me back to my room by my hair, dropped me, and slammed the door. I remember putting the chair in front of the door and pretending to sleep. That would prevent myself being taken down to the basement again. I went home in April and never went back except for summer camp. And I even stopped going there. It's been 7 years, and I just told my parents about it in July of this year. I don't remember why I never told them before. I was probably scared that the staff would find out. We went to an institution, and I reported my experience. The sheriff's office had been notified of these incidents. Ever since I left, I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Let's see here. What do other people have to say? I took a look at the audiogames.net and surprisingly didn't find too many situations like mine. Although I have heard that a lot of blind schools have extreme strict standards. I even saw a post that someone talked about being screamed at for simply opening up a can of pop and opening it that belonged to himself. Conclusion. All in all, I would not recommend sending your kid to a school for the blind. The staff at these schools still need to get their act together. At best, these schools lack educational content. And at worst, your kid will be beaten and abused. If a public school won't accommodate you, I strongly recommend finding another school in another city. A lot of schools are generally accepting disabled kids, so you shouldn't have too many problems, if any. That's horrible. That is absolutely horrible to hear what he went through at this school. Horrible. But let me add, I don't think that this is something that happens that much. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but this isn't really. I don't think this is my reason why I would say public schools are better. There's other reasons on top of that, because I don't think that everybody is going through something like that. I would definitely hope not. I believe that out of his experience, he's going to assume that. That's obvious. But I don't think that blind schools just beat on the kids. There are anymore. They're taking special need kids and putting them in those same blind schools, and I'm not sure that would actually be the case for every blind school, even though what has happened to this gentleman is horrible. To have went through the things he went through that he should have never went through. And he was scared, didn't know what to do, who to talk to. So it makes sense. Anyways, the link is below in the description. I shared it with you guys. Feel free to go read it yourself and share it. If you don't mind, just to help get this story out there, to show people some of the things that blind students can go through at blind schools. I mean, I do think it's horrible. I do. I feel really bad that happened to him. But again, I don't think that's the only reason that kids shouldn't go to a blind school. I think that they're definitely changing a lot now. And that would be one of my reasons to say don't go to a blind school, go to a public school, and start your life where you're able to work with other sighted people and be around sighted people, and at the same time get the accommodations that you need. So, anyways, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, guys. Help share this, and let me know what you thought about this, and what your thoughts are, and what your take is on it. And I'll talk to you here real soon.